What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Views from the 22, Victor Santana, aka Vic Junior on Facebook. As you can see here, um, I'm in the lab doing what I love to do best, and that's studying the great game of football. Shout out to my Views from the 22 crew, Mo Schefter, Germ So True, um, Mo for being such a genius, man, and creating this platform for us, creating the name Views from the 22. And basically, that was inspired from, as you can see here, we got the NFL's Game Pass. This is the coaches' film part of it. And as you can see in this very view right here, this is the all 22 angle, where you can see all 22 players and what they're doing. This angle is very important when it comes to seeing what the receivers are doing against the secondary, what kind of coverages the defenses is in, what kind of routes and route combinations the receivers and the offense is doing. So Mo created the views from the 22 from that very name. So shout out to him for that. You also get to see the end zone view where you'll see mostly what's happening in the trenches. This is my favorite part of it. As you can see here, you'll see what the offensive line is doing. You'll see what the defensive line is doing, the blocking schemes, the different pass rushing schemes, whether they're stunting and things like that. That's my favorite part of the game, man. I love to see what the offensive line is doing. I think it's basically poetry in motion, and the beauty of the blocking schemes to me and how they just do everything together is tremendous, especially at the NFL level. Professional players doing what they do best. So this video or this film study was inspired by a post that was put in our group on Facebook called Views from the 22. Go ahead and check our group out. Join the group. We have a lot of members in our group, man. We talk a lot about football. People post things about football. We got very knowledgeable people on there. It stems from the Petty Sports Network family. That's another group that we have on Facebook. Shout out to Jay Ham, to Trav, to Myron Jenkins. Shout out to those guys, man, because they're the lab rats when it comes to NBA and basketball. They have the group 94 Feet of Life, so check that group out too if you're a basketball fan. Um, but like I said, this study comes from a post that was put in our Views from the 22 group, which talked about DeMarcus Lawrence and this quote that he had to say about the Eagles giving Carson Wentz, his extension and stuff like that recently. And basically, what DeMarcus said was, "The richer they get, the better it feels when we humble their ass." Um, basically, my quick take on that is, man, I wish sometimes some of these players would keep their mouths shut and just go play. As we can see by the standard, and what I mean by the standard, the Patriots, I mean, those guys just keep their mouths shut. There's not much talking from there. They go out and they go win games and they win Super Bowls and things like that. And, sometimes it's good to talk a lot of junk, but I mean, to me, it's about the success that you have in this game, especially at this level. At times, we should, the players should act more professional and things like that. But he said that quote in reference to Carson Wentz getting his extension, and the caption also read on that specific post, "Zero sacks against the Eagles," referencing to what DeMarcus Lawrence stats are against the Eagles. And when it comes to football, man, it's something that we like to preach. Numbers just talk about 50% of the game. Okay? People love to go to the numbers. You hear the media talk about it. You hear a lot of fans talk about numbers. And the numbers, the stats just talk about 50% of the game. And it's not like basketball, it's not like baseball, where those sports are very dependent on numbers and things like that. As you can see in this play here, DeMarcus Lawrence is a very technically sound defensive end. He is going to play the strong side defensive end, which is, as you can see here, is the left side of the formation, number 90. His number one attribute is his run stopping ability. This guy, I mean, he's incredible with how technical he is. He's not the most gifted athlete at the defensive end spot. like a Von Miller, like a Khalil Mack, and those guys can beat you with not only how technical they are, but physical attributes, the talent, the speed, the quickness. DeMarcus doesn't have that type of talent. He's a great pass rusher, but he's gonna beat you with more technically sound, uh, moves and stuff like that. He has mastered a lot of pass rushing moves, um, but he has his number one focus is stopping the run. Okay, and what he's been able to provide for the Cowboys as a pass rush has just been a major plus. Lane Johnson is also considered one of the best tackles in the game. He's a guy that he plays right tackle, but he can easily play the left tackle, which is mostly the most athletic side of the field. But he plays right tackle for the Eagles. That's because they have a very special left tackle right now in Jason Peters. But Lane Johnson, man, I mean, quick feet, also very technically sound. You rarely see him out of position and stuff like that. He's very gifted when it comes to how quick he is with his feet and his hands. So like I said, to get to the study, man, it's to show people that the numbers just talk again, 50% of the game. So we'll get to the film here, and we'll start with play number one. So real quick, a little bit more of a background to the study. I studied the last 4 games of the Eagles-Cowboys matchup between 2017 and 18. Lane Johnson has only played in 2 of those games. Whether it was for injury or suspension, I'm not sure exactly, but he only played in 2 of the games. So the post, was talking about how Lane owns DeMarcus Lawrence, things like that. In this film study, we're going to see exactly if that's the case or not. So in this first play right here, this is quarter 1, 11:26, 1st and 10. There's not many stats for the offensive line, unfortunately. But one thing that you can keep track of is pancakes. And Lane Johnson, is able to get one here on DeMarcus. This was a running play, but he's going to get in his pass set, because it's a delayed run. So they're going to act like it's a pass, and then hesitate and hand the ball off to the running back. You're going to see here DeMarcus is going to try to create a pass rush, but Lane is able to get into his pass set quickly, and as DeMarcus tries to change direction, he's able to pancake him. And this is going to be important because in several plays from now, we're going to see some adjustments Lane has to do in order to continue to stop DeMarcus Lawrence and what he was able to do in this game. But as you can see here again, we'll run it one more time. Lane gets in his pass set. DeMarcus pass rushes him. He's going to get into his body. He's going to push him back a couple times, but as he tries to change direction to try to stop the run, Lane is able to reset his feet and just put him on the ground. And of course, the offensive line, like they like to do, dive right on top of the player, kind of, sticking in his ribs a little bit. But on to the next play. So here we'll get to quarter number 2. We got a 3rd and 1 situation. Okay, and like I said before, DeMarcus Lawrence, his number one job is to help stop the run. He plays a strong side defensive end, like I said before. He's going to go up against some really tough tackles. He's going to go up against tight ends that are going to try to block him as well. But he does a good job here of stacking on Lane Johnson, shedding that block, and stopping Carson Wentz for a -1 yard loss, and for them to end the drive. Now, it wasn't a sack, but he helped end a drive by, again, stopping the run. We'll see here again. There's going to be an option run to the right. Carson Wentz is going to keep the ball. And you're going to see DeMarcus engage with Lane here. Lane is going to try to maintain this block as the play develops. And DeMarcus continues to push him back, sheds the tackle, and makes a play. Now, it's a tackle, doesn't go down as a sack. Sacks are more important apparently, but here DeMarcus does his job and gets the offense off the field, gets the defense off the field. So here we have another third down situation. This time is in the third quarter. As you can see, the Cowboys are winning 6-0, and for the Cowboys defense to hold this Philadelphia offense to just 0 points by this time in the game is pretty impressive. You can say that the Cowboys should have probably taken more advantage of this situation and have more points on the board. But the Philly defense was pretty impressive also in this game, at least for the first 3 quarters. But as we get to the play here, like I said, DeMarcus is not the most physically gifted pass rusher, but he's very technically sound. He has his pass rushing moves. Basically, he's basically mastered these moves. In this one, he's going to use what's called the long arm stab. And what they try to do in this move is try to get the inside shoulder of the tackle in this case, his right arm. He's going to try to stab him to try to get him out of position. And with his left arm, he's going to try to grab the tackle's outside arm. And in this case, DeMarcus, you're going to see he's going to twist Lane Johnson's arm, and he's going to get him out of position. He's going to actually make him fall here. So he got stab, arm, twist. He's going to get him out of position, and he's going to actually get a hand on Carson Wentz. Carson is going to have to move around in the pocket and just kind of throw the ball away. Again, another third down situation where DeMarcus is able to basically end the drive. So again, we got here pass rush, long arm stab. Right, so he gets his arm into his inside shoulder. As you can see there, he's kind of at a 45-degree angle. That he's able to use his lower body to drive the tackle backwards with one arm. He's going to. This is a very hard move to do because you're gonna have to, try to grab a moving arm. And like I said, he's gonna twist the arm here, kind of get Lane out of play, out of position. He doesn't get the sack, but again, he ended a drive. This doesn't go down as a stat. Doesn't show anything. But you got groups like PFF and things like that created the pressure as a stat for defensive linemen. So he gets a pressure here, and he's able to get the offense off the field without getting a sack. So again here, still third quarter, we have another third down situation. You got the score now is Dallas 9, Philly 6. This is going to be 2 plays here in which you're going to see a DeMarcus Lawrence win, and then you have Lane Johnson also win. And that happens because, again, DeMarcus is able to make a play to end a drive, but the Eagles go for it on a 4th down for some reason. Whether it's they didn't want to, obviously they're out of field goal range. They probably didn't want to punt, whatever the case may be. But DeMarcus, another very good attribute that DeMarcus has is that he has a high motor. He's a very high motor player. When he's on the field, you'll see him running around a lot. And again, here you got a stunt. Basically, for whatever reason, Carson steps into the pocket. He tried to probably go for the 1st down, being that it was 4 yards away. But again, you got DeMarcus Lawrence with his high motor, basically getting a tackle and stopping, the Eagles from getting a 1st down. And so, like I said, the Eagles go for it on 4th down. Let's go to the next play. And in this time, this is enough time for DeMarcus to get a sack, but Lane Johnson does a great job stalling him. DeMarcus is this time going to use a spin move, something that he loves to use. So we'll slow it down here a little bit. This time, again, Eagles are in a shotgun formation. Carson takes about a 3 to 5 step drop. and that's enough time for DeMarcus to try to create a pass rush. But Lane Johnson, with his quick feet, his quick hands, another thing you'll see is that Lane Johnson takes a really big kick to get into his pass set. But he has such tremendous feet to get it to mirror the pass rusher. DeMarcus likes to spin right, he'll spin left, but this time he stalled them, and you got basically what was it looks like a pick here. You'll have the right receiver here, kind of get in the way of Leighton Vander Esch. That gives enough time for Darren Sproles to get in space. And this basically helps the Eagles continue the drive and actually score. They actually get the score in this drive as well. So here we have a first and 10 situation. We got quarter number 4. This time the Cowboys are up 16-9. We got 2 plays here that we're gonna show. Both plays, Lane Johnson is able to do a tremendous job blocking DeMarcus. Again, this is the 4th quarter. Defensive line tires out much quicker than the offensive line does. So DeMarcus is not able to get the pass rush that he would like. He did a great job throughout the game, keeping the Cowboys and keeping keeping the Cowboys in the game and keeping the Eagles from scoring a lot of points. This time here, as you can see, he's more on the strong side position, and just Lane Johnson does a tremendous job engaging him, and basically blocking him. But this play right here, to me, is very impressive on what Lane Johnson does. As I said previously, in the first play, you're gonna see how Lane Johnson basically in his pass rush, his pass set, he's gonna kind of angle out, that way. This time he's gonna kind of get into his pass set backwards, kind of going backwards, and what that does is it provides a smaller pocket for the quarterback, so you're hoping that he's able to get the ball out. The receiver wins his matchup, and the quarterback is able to get the ball out. But Lane Johnson gets into a tighter pass set in which he gets very close to his left guard, almost to the point where he trips over his left guard. And what he's doing is trying to not only block DeMarcus either block him away from the quarterback, but also in case DeMarcus uses his spin move to try to spin back inside, he doesn't risk losing that matchup. And that's Lane Johnson. He doesn't risk losing that matchup if DeMarcus is able to run inside, even though he does a great job, pancaking the defensive ends when they do that to him, try to come back inside. He wasn't going to try to risk it here. So we'll slow it down a little bit. DeMarcus is going to come out in a wide 9 look. Again, there you go. You see Lane going backwards, very tight to his guard. Boom. Stalls him, almost trips over his guard, but he's able to hold DeMarcus very tight. And Carson makes an impressive throw right across 54's face. To continue this drive, and the Eagles are able to tie the game on this drive to make it 16-0. But this game ends up going into overtime, in which the Cowboys end up winning this game. Again, DeMarcus does a great job, stopping the Eagles' offense at times single-handedly. Lane Johnson also does a great job pass blocking and stopping DeMarcus in key situations. So again, numbers just talk about 50% of the game. DeMarcus was able to, as you can see, make a lot of stops in terms of some drives and things like ending some drives and things like that. We just try to preach, man, and enjoying what these guys do for their respective position and stuff like that, and just even though DeMarcus was talking a lot of smack about the Carson Wentz um, extension, and then the post going on to how he has 0 sacks against Lane Johnson, blah blah blah. As you can see, he's a tremendous player. He stops the run, but also provides a very good pass rush for the Cowboys defense. So again, shout out to the views from the 22 crew. Join the Facebook page. We also have a YouTube page. Check out our YouTube page, man. We're gonna try to put a lot more videos like these, a lot of one-on-one matchups. Basically a game within the game, and basically just try to give more praise to a lot of the things that some of these players are able to do. But again, thanks for watching. This is Vic Junior, as known on Facebook, and this is Views from the 22. We out.